And
Yes.
as this is a super new and exciting time topic, and I think, for the community, I've prepared a couple of content which
Yeah,
I
great.
want to share, including the vision, point of view, automation, doing it right from the first
Yeah.
place. And also, yeah, I will just go into the presentation. So if you say we are good to start, I will kick it off.
Yes.
And if you can do me a favor, Ravi, like,
Yeah.
I think there will be a lot of things in the chat, questions. If it makes sense to ask them, just ask them right away, and I will try to answer it. Huh?
Sure, Amir. I will monitor that. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so I think I can get started.
Yes, please, Amir.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot, Ravi. Hello, everyone. My name is Amir Khan. Few of you know me from previous meetups. I'm based out of Switzerland and a MuleSoft employee. And super excited to talk about this topic, which is very close to, yeah, to my passion and what I like to talk about. I've prepared a couple of slide deck. I think there, yeah, good amount of slide deck. We will be walking through, but there's also a demo part where we are going to look into a specific Salesforce demo. Where we are integrating and consuming RPA automated processes from a Salesforce Service Cloud instance. And then we are going to look into how you can build a bot on a very simple use case so you get a feeling how it works. But basically, the agenda is like, I don't want to just rush into the topic. It's a new and very exciting topic. We have acquired a RPA company. Yes, it's there. We were from a API focus, so I want to make sure that everyone understand what is automation, why we are talking about it today. Also, difference between automation, RPA, what is the view of the analyst here, and why MuleSoft is coming into the automation game now. Is there a need for it, or because the market is full of automation vendors? So what's the reasoning behind it? I will try to make it more, visual and tied to different use cases. But if there are any questions, feel free to enter in the chat or unmute yourself and speak up, and I will try to answer it. If there is something I cannot answer, obviously I will take it with me. So we will start with the current challenges in automation, and this is where I will really walk you through what is the market situation. Then after that, we will go into the MuleSoft automation suite and give you an introduction, also combining the different components of MuleSoft automation. And right away after that, we will give you a use case demonstration. Means really, I will switch into a use case role of a service agent and try to give you my point of view on this specific demo use case. And then after this demo use case with the Salesforce Service Cloud, we will be looking into how to build your first bot, I call it, but it's about how to build your first automated process. And of course, there are other use cases and QAs and so on, and how to learn more about MuleSoft automation. So we have only few minutes. I think we can, if needed, extend a bit, Ravi. But we have a dedicated time, so I will just start right away. First of all, where we are coming from. Many of you have heard that we have acquired a company called Service Trace X1, a German company based out of Darmstadt, and they were offering a very unique RPA technology, which was rated by the analyst as a innovation, as visionary. And the analysts like Gartner, they rate vendors as visionary if they have really the right innovation in place. And the problem of Service Trace was they were not able to scale. So it's a small company. They have been proven in the market in the RPA space. Now we as Salesforce MuleSoft wanted to uh, grow into this section, into this space, and that's why we have acquired them. And now we are bringing the manpower and the scale and really innovating around RPA. So we have taken the solution, cloudified it, put a lot of innovation around it, and brought it into the MuleSoft Salesforce ecosystems to make it more appealing and make the automation story more complete, also when looking from the hyper automation point of view. And that's where we stand now. MuleSoft is a leader in different Gartner quadrants. iPaaS, we have been 7 times leader. Full lifecycle API management 6 times, and now with having Service Trace on board. This is unfortunately still the old one, but in the latest one, there you will see Salesforce MuleSoft, which is tagged to be visionary, and we are really looking forward to become also leader here. So that's our ambition. But again, why are we talking about it? Why are we talking about automation? And first of all, I want to highlight something which I've been discovering over the last few my career, but also done a lot of research, and there is this graph about the company lifespan on the Fortune 500 companies. There was a lot of events happening where you have this up and downs, but in the recent, let's say, 20 to 30 years, we see that there is a drastic decrease in the life expectation of companies. 6 years ago, it was like 37 years. Then it decreased to 32 years, and now it's 19 years, and it will even go further down. And this is also because of the emerging technologies. So there is a lot of innovation coming up. The market is disrupted, and companies need to evolve. They need to transform faster, and they need to make sure that their business has the right efficiency and productivity in place to make that transformation. And it's not like it's just a retail sector or financial sector. Every single company is impacted, and this digital transformation is having a digital disruption initiated as well. And in digital disruption, there's only two ways. As a company, either you disrupt the market or you will be disrupted. There is nothing in between, and you cannot stay still. Otherwise, you will be disrupted. So what we want to do is really, we want, as MuleSoft Salesforce, we want to provide our customers the capabilities, and I'm talking about capabilities, to free up their innovative minds and really start innovating, and not just be overloaded with a lot of work where you cannot innovate anymore. And why are we talking about it at the first place, right? Because automation is nothing new. It has been in the market for a while. I will not quantify on the numbers, but the reality is automation has been seen so far as of today. In the past, automation, when you think about automation, RPA is most probably the first topic which comes into your mind. It's easy to do. It's done by most probably business users, but they are trying to get benefit out of RPA. So still, it is not successful. So if you look into the research, you will see that 50% of standalone RPA processes and projects are failing, which is a high number. And the rest of the 50% are still not really super successful. So that's why automation is still a big topic in the market space, to provide that connected user experience, to free up the business from daily work, from repetitive work, and enable them by freeing up capacity to innovate towards new initiatives and a more connected experience for all consumers, customers, partners, employees. Everyone should be consuming automation. But today, it's not really there, and it's more hindering the way we want to innovate than provide value. So, and why is that? If we would now do a zoom in into an organization, and this is really something that I have invested some time to come up with this graph. It's not perfect, but this is the status quo of automation. For automation today is tagged really as something where you in your organization, which is presented by the cloud, maybe the color is not super good. So this is your company or organization, and these dots are representing different processes. These processes are business processes, repetitive work. Yeah, there are different teams, of course, who have the responsibility, ownership on the processes. Some might be in their ownership, other might be in between or shared ownership, and this is where you start to automate. So, what are you automating? Again, automation is based on UI level. RPA is big topic here. And now you start automating today, right? So you have a team one getting some processes which they own, also other processes which they don't have the full ownership on, but they start automating, building the UI automation upon this. Team two does very similar, and team three is also building automation. Super cool. It's built, right? Looks like it is working now, but what happens now if there are changes to the process? Let's assume a process change and team one is owning those processes. They have the full ownership. So what will they do? Of course, automation, they are getting promised that there will be productivity and efficiency increase. So what they try to do as a team is now try to fix it. Try to make it still work, even the UI automation is now broken. Yeah, they try to fix it, and then let's say, okay, they have adopted the change. So the business processes introduced new buttons, new required fields, other fields which they have automated disappeared. So kind of really a cumbersome scenario, but still they managed to build and maintain the automation. It's green. But what happens if processes which are not really in your responsibility are now changing? And this is like a disaster scenario for automation, especially when we are talking about UI automation, only RPA driven automation. This is not the way a company would imagine going towards automation. Now you have invested a lot of time in designing those automated processes. What is happening? The processes are changing, new fields are appearing, new buttons are there, required fields are there, fields are getting rid of, or changes to the UI, and all these processes now are breaking the UI automation, which you have to invest again the heavy lift part to make it work again. Is this the way automation should be freeing up business? I think there's a way we can do better. Automation need to be seen from a more holistic view and understand why are we doing automation in the first place. So this way it is done today in the market is not the best way to do it. And that's also the reason why Gartner is coming up with something called hyper automation. RPA is, of course, it has its, it has its reason to be there, but there is more to it. RPA is not the end state of automation. There's more to it, and hyper automation is really something where you are talking about capability as an organization. You may have people who are skilled in API, you are having people who are skilled in integration, you have people in your organization with UI automation, RPA expert, you have low coders, you have developers. So you are bringing those capabilities together to drive the automation journey to success, and that's what hyper automation is talking about. But still, it's not something which is achievable uh, straightforward. So that's what is bringing a lot of work to the human and especially to the business people. Repetitive work where they cannot really benefit from the automation, UI automation today, to make them relief from the effort and start innovating in innovations, start investing in innovations. And every department is impacted. You can go from finance, sales, services, employee success, HR. Basically, everyone is investing repetitive tasks across multiple applications. These are just few numbers. Look into the organization and you will identify that automation shouldn't be there to getting served by humans. Automation is there so it can serve the humans. Yeah? So the moment you start serving back the automation, you are trying to keep on a promise which didn't return on the investment. Yeah? And of course, it's not a straightforward topic. You need to have really thinking about automation now um, with the UI automation, RPA focus. It's more really on the technical side. You need to have coding experience. You need to be aligned with the changes, aligned with business and IT collaboration, and also understand how are the requirements evolving. Why is my automation still failing? How can I make it more robust? Yeah? So what's the answer for it? And I want to just do a break on this slide to ask in the round if this is clear, if we are all on the same page, or is this going beyond what you thought we will be talking about? And Ravi, please feel free to read any questions in the chat.
Yeah, I can see one question. Sudhir, do you want to enable your uh, microphone if you want? Sudhir, are you there? Maybe what Sudhir is asking, can you please share your views on automation impact on innovation? This is the question from Sudhir Kulkarni.
Okay, so the automation impact on innovation. So currently, what we are trying to achieve is every business is overloaded with kind of repetitive work, kind of work they do not necessarily uh, have to innovate, so they are blocked while doing the daily business task. And this is what we are trying to free up. We are trying to free up by introducing automation, exactly this time for businesses, for IT, and even for development partners who can then start really thinking about how they can even go more into new ideas, start new initiatives, and really free up time for starting innovations. So I don't know if this is answering the question, but this is what we are currently talking about. If you want to quantify it, I don't think there is a right statistic to quantify it. Currently, I have seen numbers like you need to have an automation rate plus 90% in order to really get rid of those tasks. So, really freeing up your journey towards innovation, you need to first free up all the repetitive work by introducing a higher rate of automation, and then you can go into this direction. So there, I don't have numbers to share, but this is what my opinion is on it. Not sure if this answers your question.
Yeah, thanks, Samir. And there is another question, I think, similar to that. He's asking
Mhm.
what are the basis for all these percentages and numbers from Anil.
So the basis, I think these numbers, which I did not read, these are coming from different analysts like McKinsey. You have Deloitte, you have Gartner. So I think it's part of this deck in the notes. I can provide you this information, but it's coming from the analyst, market analyst. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I think there is another question point from Murali Krishna. Like, I believe warehouses, banking, healthcare, all sectors need modernized, innovated, and apply automation up to 80% to 90%. That's what his view.
Mhm. That could be, it's really about understanding what are these 80% meaning. Is it really like you have automation which is running, and still you need to feed the automation, you still need to serve the automation to keep it up and running? Is it like this, or is it like you have invested in automation, now you are really increasing and looking towards a higher number of rates? So what I can see, and I'm located in Switzerland, in the banking sector, insurance sector, we have a lot of exactly those kind of problems where businesses are really focusing on repetitive work. They are overloaded. Developers are overloaded with stuff which is involving daily work, and this is something which need to be freed up. And yeah, so of course, it could be that 80% is there, which would be good, of course, for the organization. Okay, let me continue on the presentation. So I want, before we now jump into the MuleSoft automation topic, I want to just talk about few fundamentals of automation. First of all, this is what I believe. This is my personal mantra. Automation should be serving humans, not the other way around. I've been telling this already, but what does it mean? Automation, you have introduced automation, let's say UI automation, you have been building RPA, automated processes, introduced bots, and now you realize that it's not really scaling up because of the frequent changes on the UI. It's not really helping you to get there where you initially was promised for automation. Now you start serving the automation, the way you tweak in and make sure that the processes are up and running. And now it has completely changed. You have introduced automation, which should be serving you, but now you are serving the automation to keep it up and running by fixing it. And it's really not helping to benefit from the automation which you have introduced. So this is what I personally believe in. If you start serving automation, your automation journey has failed. But why are we doing automation in the first place? Yeah? So for me, it's clear these are the three main goals: cost saving, productivity, and efficiency. And along with this, you have other things as well. But this is something which is, there, and also why RPA has become so popular, because it promised exactly on these things: productivity, efficiency, and cost savings. But now, if you look more detailed, what else is contributing towards these benefits? There's resiliency, governance, like security. Speed is a super important topic from the execution point of view. Now imagine you have, I will take the example of order to cash in sales in SAP, where you have this big bunch of process, including different smaller activities. Now you have automated it with UI. It is working. Sometimes you have to tweak in and change things, apply the right data, but somehow it's working. But still it is taking time. It's taking time in getting designed, because the more automation process run, the more it become resilient, and the less it has, the moment you build an automation process, it is very, very cumbersome, because it has been just built. It need to mature up the more it is running. So this is also something where the design is taking a lot of effort. Next thing is, how fast is it running in execution time? Is it like improving a lot? Yes, of course, you're reserving dedicated resources and it is improving a lot. So it might be stable and so on, but still there are things which can be improved by providing reusability, future-proof environment, and also, is it sustainable? All these topics are also contributing to the major goals of automation, which should not be ignored. And why not? We will be talking about this now. And now understanding goal of automation is clear, but what do we want to automate? It's the processes. The processes, let's assume it's a very simple example here, but an email is coming in, orders, you read the orders, you create the order, shipping is needed, yes, no, and then you further proceed with additional activities, create shipping, confirm via email, and then the process is done. This is something which is providing headache for my organization. So I want to automate this process. But in order to automate it, I need to understand how is it implemented in my organization. You have emails, okay, you have email, any kind of a Gmail or PDF data, PNG for reading the data. SAP might be in place, Salesforce might be in place. Why I'm bringing up all these applications here? Does it really matter? Yes, it does, because these different applications, they are providing you a core how you could be automating it. Yeah? And if you don't understand this now, then UI automation is the way you will go always, which is not always the best decision to be in. Yeah? So let's talk about, we have seen this process can be automated with different applications, but let's see what is the sphere of automation, what is the broader area we want to talk about. And if we take it to a very high level, it's just, you have APIs. I'm referring here with APIs to headless layer, and you have the UI layer, There on the right hand side, you have the business people. They can understand the UI. On the technical side, you have the developers. They can understand the technology behind it, the headless layers, the protocols. So everything you have technically is there. And then you have all the business applications, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Zendesk, whatever. They are on the business side, and they can really understand it. It's appealing to them. They are doing it, working with those applications on daily basis. Yeah? So these are the people who have the knowledge in their head what they want to automate, because they want to improve the business. Yeah? And they can only work with these applications which are on the UI side. So how can we, let's assume we would have a solution to enable these people to work with APIs. Yeah. Why I'm even bringing this up? Does it matter for automation? We have been talking about UI automation, but yes, it matters for automation. Why does it matter? APIs compared to UI, and I'm just really based on the facts, are minimum 30 times faster than a UI automation. Yeah, so if you do something with APIs, it's really like we have recently done a process automation in Salesforce, created opportunities and really added products and a few other line items on that opportunity. With UI, it took around about 15 minutes, and it was a big bunch of really designing it. A lot of effort in design, but also in execution. And somehow you had to always make it more stable. While as we have done the same with APIs, and it was really the process itself in execution with UI was 15 minutes, and in using APIs, it was under a minute. Yeah, so it's really super, super, super fast what you can achieve with APIs. So that's the reason we have to look into it and evaluate. Maybe that's the missing piece in automation. It appeals, of course, more to developers, more technical, yeah, requires technical skills, complex in nature. But I want to highlight one more important aspect of the APIs. APIs are earlier available in the life cycle. When you build application, cloud native, multi-cloud, where do you start? You are starting with the APIs, and these will be the objects which will be available at the first place. Later on, UI will happen. On the other hand, UI is easy to automate. Why easy? Easy point of view, it's easy consumable for me as a user, it's easy understandable, and I can map the process easier to UIs. It appeals more to business users, unfortunately later in the life cycle available. It changes also frequently. So let's say I have built an API and this is represented through a UI. API has different kind of attributes. It's not going to change that much, right? But while on the UI level, in order to represent these attributes, you would always get feedback. Can you rename it? Can you make it different, like location and format? So you will have these kind of formatting aspects as well, so which will always make the changes more frequently in on the UI side. And of course, it has longer execution time because you have to click, 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 and enter the data. And few example is like RPA and UI automation. I'm not saying UI automation or RPA is something which is not valid. It is valid, but we have to find the right space to use it. So now, which brings us to the next question. APIs and UIs, where to use what? So API should be used basically in all modern applications. Modern applications are full of APIs. It's the API first, design first approach. Everywhere where API is fully documented and available, and the understanding is there how to use them. For complex systems like SAP, NetSuite, I would go always for APIs. Makes no sense to click there, open the menu, enter the data. It's too time consuming, too cumbersome. With API, it's just back end and you have the job done, right? And this is really which makes a big difference in automation, how you do it. And then for databases, of course, and FTP, you don't want to go in Toad client and doing SQL via UI. You would do it with a headless layer, right? While on UI, there are use cases. You can do unstructured data, everything which is coming from imaging, files, systems without any APIs. Yeah, so there you cannot use APIs anymore, but those can be unlocked with UI automation, legacy and which are providing not really clear interface to interact with. Or on maybe applications where APIs are super difficult to use, then you would also go for UI. But that's the distinction what I want to make. Automation is not UI automation. Automation is not RPA. Automation is more broader, and it can provide a big value to your organization if you do it right from the very beginning. And I want to take this as an example, keeping the process the same, but changing the criteria and the facts how this process is implemented. So let's assume this is again the same process, the business process, and now we are using different applications. Here we have Gmail, PDF, COBOL, SAP, and Gmail again. We have to do inboxing, OCR, desktop, and outbox. So how would you do it, right? So API, Gmail, no, this is a no-brainer. PDF, what you do also with APIs. UI, you would go for desktop application which cannot provide API interface. Those would be perfect for UI. Again, for SAP is desktop application, but it provide interfacing. So why not consuming it here via API instead of really getting overloaded with UI automation? Same you do with the closing of Outbox for Gmail. Same scenario, different tools. How would you do it? Yeah, Lotus Notes. I don't know who knows it, but I one of the first mailing for me was Lotus Notes. So here, it's super difficult to have APIs. So you would probably go with UI. OCR, PDF, you go with API or even UI because you're reading something here. Salesforce, HTTP, API. It's here desktop, API or UI, or here again, Outbox is also UI. Yeah, so this is the way you can tweak the speed in the process, and also not only from the execution time, but also in the design time. APIs processes are designed faster and more stable. Last example is this is the best what I enjoy here. Um, you have these applications, so basically everything can be done also via API. You don't even need in this automation scenario RPA in place. Everything can be done with APIs, and if you would do it with RPA, this is 100 times faster with APIs. Again, I want to pause for a second and just cross-check. Ravi, over to you, team, community. Any questions?
Hi. Um, just 1 minute. I think Sudhir, you want to ask uh, because it's a long text. Otherwise, Sudhir. See, I think Sudhir. I think if you are not able to speak, there is a. He is saying the current
Mhm.
process in RPA is not consider the percentage of change needed to be accommodated to achieve desired outcomes and benefits. How
Mhm.
can we incorporate rate of change needed to make these automation work to handle adaptability? Kindly share your views.
So this is, where we have received feedback also from other users. I think the product team is really looking into this topic um, because we have taken over again. The journey was taken over that RPA company, putting innovation around it, cloudifying the whole solution, and now we will start innovating even further, improving it further. So I think there are topics on our uh, agenda where is going exactly in this kind of direction, where we will be more assessing the process in the evaluation by providing additional qualifiers and quantifiers, which will help you to understand what you want to automate.
Okay, great. I think hope Sudhir, I think Amir has answered your question. Yeah, these are the great questions. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's see how you solve this issue. Right, how you solve with MuleSoft automation. So first of all, MuleSoft automation helps different teams to collaborate together. Automation is a team sport. Yeah, so this is something which is clear. And with automation, we are providing capabilities to organization, capabilities they can use for different teams. So if you have kind of integration need, you will have the capabilities to support. If you have business application, will give you the capability to support the right team for the business application. If you need support for legacy apps or unstructured data. Here you will get the right capability to really fit the automation and improve it for everyone who is part of this automation journey, and really think about powering automation together with across the teams. IT, business, automation team is on in one boat and working towards one goal, which is achieving a higher rate in automation and getting a successful journey for your organization. So what are the pieces? I'm talking about capabilities. The first and freshest product and capability we have is MuleSoft RPA. And here you can really automate basically any process for any team, which is upon UI. Again, think, does it make sense to do it with UI automation, or you can do it differently, right? So here the tool is that powerful that you could basically automate any UI application independently what technology it is. It's running on a secured and trusted environment and allows different users to collaborate as part of the lifecycle. It's also unique in the market, the full lifecycle support for RPA, and it can scale up end-to-end automation by having the capabilities to integrate with other capabilities like the Salesforce 360 Anypoint platform, as well as connected experience via Composer. So this is where RPA is uniquely positioned in the market, but it's one of the capabilities we are providing as part of MuleSoft automation. The other one, or the next one, is simply connecting business apps, just with click, not code, easily represented in a layer which is business readable, decoupling the technical topic.
Lost you. I think you went on mute.
On mute. Sorry for that.
Yeah, I think we just lost 1 minute. I think 2 minutes back.
Okay, so basically the second capability is like MuleSoft Composer, being able to simply connect apps, business apps, and data instantly, just with clicks, not coding. So anyone is able to connect these apps and automate their own process. You can do it either event triggered while watching on events in Salesforce, Google Sheet, Workday, or you can schedule repetitive work which you want to, let's say, check every day. If there is a Google Sheet pre-filled, then you want to upload the data into Salesforce and apply a few changes or create backlogs in Jira. All this is possible, easily possible with MuleSoft Composer. And the last capability is a limited version of Anypoint platform to really now complete the picture where RPA and Composer might not be providing the capabilities. Anypoint is able to cover those cases as well as part of the automation solution. So you can build upon Anypoint, innovate faster, very free. We give you all the different connectors which are provided as part of the Anypoint platform, and you build to ensure the resiliency of your automation by having this monitoring and support provided through IT and maintaining reliability. So this is where all these three solutions can make the difference to your automation journey and help you be successful during the automation. So now we are getting more and more closer to the demo. What are the different components, right? So I will take this. There are two things. So first of all, this is more the conceptual layer, which is here representing an organization from a very high level, which is composed of different applications. You have UI interfaces and you have API interfaces. And if you are a customer or Anypoint user, you have built already with the API-led approach, with the composability in mind. You have shaped the right APIs and shared it in your organization. So this is something which exists already today, and it's working. The systems are integrated. Now, in terms of automation, this is something you could potentially reuse from the very first minute. The next thing is adapting to everything which is not possible with any point, like unstructured data, reading PDF documents, or automating systems which do not have any APIs. RPA comes in to unlock these systems, to unlock those data, to make the picture more comprehensive and complete, and provide a holistic approach to automation where business then can benefit by using the out of the box connectors, which Composer is providing, connecting to Workday, connecting to even RPA bots or APIs you have built in any point, and consume them in a business flow, in an automation flow in Composer. So Composer will help you really drive these automation from a business point of view without understanding the technical depth in the landscape. Just decoupling the technicality and representing it in a more business readable way helps organization to drive automation faster, and everyone can contribute. It's not just you are dependent on IT will provide the enabling the assets, so you can do it with API. The automation team will provide the assets for RPA. And then you have this powerful tool, Composer with pre-built connectors, which is always getting add new connectors. You can use these connectors, and if these connectors are not fulfilling your needs, you can still connect to any point as well as to RPA to satisfy your automation need. And this is uniquely in the market, and it's a completely different approach, like which is currently in the market with the UI automation, and taking a lot of time. So with Composer and the Anypoint and RPA, it's something you can really improve your automation journey by unlocking data system and provide a connected experience for your users.
Amir, I have one question if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
So we are going towards more low code, no code integration, which is of tool based. So I get general consensus from the community, right? So especially the developer community. So how does this would drive the talent if we are making it more or less attractive to the core developer intelligence and making it more tool based? So how does it impact, and how do we convince people to come into this
So
new
maybe
world?
maybe I need to rephrase my message here. So it's not really getting rid of the technical topics here. Of
Mhm.
course, we are introducing the decoupling part with Composer,
Mhm.
which is really addressing the dedicated users like non-technical users. But
Okay,
any point
perfect.
is still there.
Mhm.
RPA is still there, and automation is not like developer sport only or only business initiative. It's something where the whole organization need to come together to
Mhm.
work towards this goal. There we are improving on data weave and providing additional connectors, so this will stay. It's
Mm.
not something which is just getting removed, so it will stay. It is part of the picture, and
Mm.
everyone is providing their best capabilities toward automation.
Sorry, it's my confusion. You explained the automation better. Then you say leftover is any point you will cover the rest over. So I think that message lost in transit. So.
So it's just a new journey we also from MuleSoft and Salesforce are
Mhm.
taking. It's automation, the integration API led. This is there. It's
Perfect.
working. It's our core business, and we will not remove it. It's there, but
Perfect.
we are starting and expanding our portfolio to address an additional problem in the market, where
Perfect.
we, from my point of view, are positioned in a unique way to provide the solution for it.
So it's one-stop shop solution where you have the
Yes.
developer capability with an extended automation on top
Yeah,
of it. Yeah,
exactly,
makes
exactly.
sense. Yeah.
Thanks for rephrasing. In my inhalation of automation, super focusing on it. Maybe I forgot to add
No,
this
no,
point, but it
absolutely.
was great that you asked.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
for
the
that.
second thing is, so we are creating monoliths on their own. So now we have Composer, now we have RPA, we have Platform, we have Salesforce Flow, where there is a lot of interconnection and data exchange happening. Wouldn't it not cause a operational nightmare if somewhere something fails? So how do we, from a traceability perspective, audit perspective, what view you have on that, please?
So basically what we are providing, first of all, this is the conceptual picture, right? So if something breaks, so let's say we have automated our flows here. So if something breaks here on step 2, yeah, you can notify the users, of course, with composer capabilities, that something in the RPA failed. So these people will be notified and they can check upon it. If something here fails or on the connectivity, so you will find place what failed, and you have the additional monitoring capabilities of any point to really unlock these issues which are happening um, on different scenarios. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So now we are talking exactly about the point you brought up, interconnectability.
Yeah.
So let's assume we have any point in place. Yeah? And I'm just highlighting the pieces we need for automation. So it doesn't mean that all the stuff we have is getting rid of. No, it's still there, but this is the automation story where, let's say we have Anypoint Exchange, we are publishing our APIs, we have Mule Runtime, Anypoint platform running the different apps. We have here Mule Design Studio, Anypoint Design Studio, where I develop my Mule flows, APIs, and so on. And I will deploy it like in this direction. So from Studio to Anypoint, and it's available also in Anypoint Exchange. Now we bring in 2 additional solutions like, RPA and Composer. How does this fit into the picture? So first of all, RPA is bringing the same kind of approach. You have the design part here on the RPA process. We are providing a recorder and a builder. The builder we will see later on. Here you can build automation on different UIs, like a robot farm where the runtime is running. Very similar to the Mule runtime. So you have here a robot farm where you install the bots, and the bots are just waiting for the automated process to come so they can run these automated process. And you have a manager, like a control plane with the capabilities which you need to run RPA successfully. The way it works, you create something in RPA builder, you save it in the server, and then you deploy it to your bot farm, assign the right bots so they are able to run either on scheduled basis or are triggered. Yeah. On the other hand, you have composer flows, which you do completely online. You have an embedded runtime where you deploy these flows, and they are also, available and they run. And sometimes you may want to use what you have built here in RPA. So we are providing an RPA connector for Composer, which can then directly use, here it says HTTP. This is just a protocol, but the connector is more simplified. You don't need this complexity of HTTP, JSON, and so on. It's more simplified, and it's consuming basically the bots you have available here. Additionally, what you can, from RPA Manager, you can insert your Anypoint organization and publish the automated processes which you have built as an API in Anypoint Exchange. Now this changes the game completely. So far we were on an API discoverability. Now we are also providing automation discoverability directly from the single source of record, which will be in this case Anypoint Exchange. So everyone now is able to consume and discover automated processes which has been done with RPA Manager. Not only that, once these APIs are published in Anypoint Exchange, you can use them as REST connectors in Anypoint Mule flows, in Anypoint Studio, and really deploy it in the Mule runtime. So from Mule runtime, you're able to call these RPA processes, which will be deployed and executed on the RPA bot farm to really provide the right capabilities you need to provide the automation coverage. So this is from Anypoint to RPA. There's also the other way around. So from Composer, you can also call like Anypoint APIs, as well as from RPA, you can call also Anypoint APIs. Just to give you a technical deep dive into the solution and how it is represented. And this brings me to the first demo use case. Before I go in, again, any additional questions? Or are you excited to see this first demo? Okay, so let's go with the first demo. The first demo is about a Salesforce Service Cloud, a customer service scenario where we have a defined use case. So there is a fictional company called NTO, Northern Trail Outfitters, and what they do is they provide outdoor articles, sport articles, products, and they sell them online via web shop. And they have a very loyal customer who's Rachel, and Rachel has had a very good experience in the last few months with NTO, Northern Trail Outfitters. She ordered a couple of products. They came in good quality. They came on time. Shipping was fine. So really, she was fully satisfied and everything is fine. So now she want to go to a hiking vacation next week, already going on Monday, and with her friends to do hikings in the mountains of Switzerland somewhere. And now she has ordered hiking shoes, but unfortunately entered the wrong delivery date, which is next Friday or even in 2 weeks. And she needs these hiking shoes before she goes into vacation. So she will be calling the service center of NTO. And on the other side, you will find Michael. Michael is a service agent working at NTO, and he provides excellent customer support. So he's a guy, who takes care about customers getting the right experience, super passionate about customer service, and every customer who interacts with him has a great feedback. So he is really committed, and he loves to work in this service center environment. And Rachel will be interacting with him to change the delivery date of her order. Unfortunately, currently Michael's workflow on daily basis is a bit difficult. So you can see there are different environments he's working. First of all, Service Cloud is the environment where he loves to work. This is his cockpit where he can see all these customer cases which are coming in. He can check upon those cases, and based on the type of the case, also Einstein is recommending based on the intelligence few steps which he can execute. And on certain points sometimes he has to put the customer on hold, and everyone knows this experience. I had it recently with one of my banks. The customer then start listening to music. In our case it will be Rachel, and then the service agent Michael goes into a very old legacy application, no API at all, so it's super difficult to integrate. And now he has to log in there, find Rachel, find the order, and update the order. And then this is not everything. He closed the application, and then he has to continue because the same information is living also in NetSuite. So he logs in into NetSuite. There are a few business analysts working in NetSuite. So he finds the order, update the order, and then at some point after 10 to 15 minutes, he return back to Rachel to confirm, yes, the change is done, or if there were any cases which was not able to change, he would discuss further steps with Rachel. But in many cases, it would be possible. So he comes back and confirms changes is done. There are two issues. First of all, customer experience. Rachel is idling. She is listening to music and waiting for Michael to come back. And Rachel is patient. She can wait 15 minutes, but other customers would drop it, and they would not have a good experience here. The second thing is Michael as an employee is also not really happy with the process. He gets frustrated. Sometimes he is not really 100% clear, so he enters wrong data. Is also a human. Every human can make mistakes. So this is also really cumbersome from the process point of view, and this is what NTO has realized, and they have automated the process. uh, Before I show you the automated flow, again I want to ask that everyone understands the challenge here, everyone understands the use case here, what we are trying to achieve.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, so let's continue and see how the automated or the improved process would look like. So now you have seen that Michael has his wishes completed. So he stays now with the new automated process in Salesforce Service Cloud. So he is really there where he wanted to be. He has his cockpit, and where in the past he had to trigger, or he had to go into the legacy environment and do the heavy lifting. Now he can continue the conversation with the customer, in our case Rachel, and a bot will be triggered who will then do this heavy lifting, like logging into the order management system and then updating manually or updating the data, uh, providing the order date correctly. And then once the bot is completed, on completion, MuleSoft Composer flow will be triggered, which will do basically the output from the bot and insert it in NetSuite to provide the update and automatically resolve the case. And if Michael is still on the phone with Rachel, he can inform her everything is fine. Otherwise, he can notify her later. And additionally, Michael is directly connected with the customer. He continues the conversation and can answer additional questions, can do upselling maybe if needed, or just get a relationship with Rachel and really work and provide her the right experience from the NTO point of view. And this is what we are going to see now in a live demo, how this is implemented. Yeah? Before I go into the live demo, just the integration part, because there are different things which will be happening. It's not a demo which you build just like in 1 hour. It's simple, but it's not like very simple demo. So we have different capabilities we will be consuming here. First of all, the Salesforce Flow Builder is used to really provide a guided experience for the service agent, which is Michael. And at some point, based on the decision what Michael takes, a bot will be triggered, and this bot is triggered directly in MuleSoft RPA, exactly in the same way like we had in the diagram. And once the bot is completed, on completion, there is a trigger defined in MuleSoft Composer, which will then trigger the next automation step to update NetSuite and further update the case which is there. And this is what we will be now looking into in a live demo. As a first demo, there's another one where we will be building a bot. But now let's continue with this one. So basically what I have here the MuleSoft Composer flow. Without further comments, I will just trigger the start of the flow. It's my personal environment, so I have to always launch it. So I will just trigger the testing of the flow itself. So it started. What I want to show you is here the sales order of Rachel Smith. What we will be doing is, during this automation use case, is we will be updating the memo field, as well as here you can see these are hiking shoes, as well as the delivery date or shipping date, which will be set directly from Salesforce Service Cloud. And there is this old order management system, which is also there, and I will show you this later on. But now let's go into the Salesforce Service Cloud environment. And this is where I will now switch into the role of Michael. And whenever I come in the morning into the office, this is basically the dashboard I see as a service agent. I see exactly what's going on my cases, the priorities, and so on. What are my resolution time? This is fine. I understand this. And now at some point I say, okay, I want to see what's going on the omni-channel. I set myself available, and maybe you will hear this ring now. Rachel's case is coming in, and she is asking to change the delivery date. I say, okay, this is something I can directly start working with. So I open the case, and now in the background, I will also initiate a call with her. So she picks up, and I can now start discussing this. I have this case in front of me, and I am understanding the 360 experience here, what Salesforce is providing on the customer, with the description that she is requesting a delivery date update. And while I'm reading it, and this is the beauty of the Salesforce platform together with automation, you see the next best action, the Einstein Intelligence is recommending me already something, which is a loyalty package I should offer Rachel because she is a loyal customer. So we can provide her a loyalty package, which includes a cost-free shipping update on the date. So I say, yes, I want to accept this suggestion from Einstein. And now ScreenFlow comes in, where I am guided now from as a service agent with a guided script. So I would like to thank Rachel for being a loyal customer with us so long. As a appreciation, we want to provide you this loyalty package. Is this something you are interested in? The shipping update for free. So she said, yes, I need this hiking shoes by this week. Friday, it would be perfect. So we can say, okay, let's select the 30th of September. So before you go into vacation, you have these shoes available. And now I can click on next. And this is just information for me as a service agent. While Rachel is with me on the phone, I say, okay, I have triggered the process now, which means a bot is triggered to update the order management system. And that's not only that, there is few things happening. So first of all, the bot is triggered, and the bot is running in a secured environment where the order management system is started. The bot is logging in, finding Rachel, finding the delivery date, updating the order, and then closing everything. But additionally, the bot has also commented, or the flow has commented here, that a bot is triggered, RPA bot is triggered, and it will resolve automatically the case once the legacy order management system, which has no APIs, is updated, and the NetSuite environment. And at the same time, you can see here, Composer was listening for this bot to complete, which now is being processed. So bot has completed it, and now NetSuite update is happening. Everything went fine. So in NetSuite, at least I should see now an update on the memo and on the shipping date, where you can see this is just a cryptical memo we have just entered here. But on the shipping date, you can see 30th of September, this is actually what Michael has entered from Salesforce Service Cloud. So this bot was triggered by getting this data directly embedded. And now you may ask, okay, this is the process was executed. So let's take a look back on the case. If I refresh again, you will see MuleSoft RPA has commented as well. A dedicated technical user which has commented and said, okay, order management system and NetSuite are updated. I will close this case. So the moment I refresh here, the case is closed. And if Rachel is now with me still on the phone, I can inform her, look, you will get your shoes already in the next Friday. We have started the shipping process, so it will be delivered soon. So basically, this is the demo. But now you may ask, Amir, you were talking about the order management system. We have seen Composer updating NetSuite. We have seen few things happening in Salesforce. But where did the order management automation process run? So we don't want them to run on Michael's machine, right? Because he's a customer service agent. We don't want there to start popping up screen. That's why the RPA process run in our secured environment. And in order to give you an overview how it looks like, this is the builder. And later on, we will be working with the builder in more detail. But this is the automated process we have in the builder. And I will just, without any comments, just run it. And later on, we will focus more on the technical side. So this is now starting an emulated version of this legacy application. You can see very simple